Hey guys, I am so excited to be here with you to do our Winter Wonderland kit. With these kits, we sell them a month in advance. They always sell out. So this one was sold last month for today's video. And then today, let me grab it, we'll be selling next month's kit, which is Cupid's Kiss. I can imagine that you can figure out what the theme is on this one. And it'll be January 30th when we break this open and actually design with it. So this is available already at www.softflexcompany.com. You can jump on there, grab your kit, and join in the fun for next month. And in the meantime, we're going to open up Winter Wonderland and see what fun goodies are in here. And then we're definitely going to be making a few things today using the products in the kit. So happy New Year to everyone. I'm so excited to be back from vacation. I feel rejuvenated and ready to go. And I hope all of you feel that way too and have some new creative energy going into this new year. Rosanna says she already bought Cupid's Kiss. Good job, Rosanna. You're always on top of it. Kim says hello, wishing all a happy, healthy, safe 2019. Definitely. I agree. And there's Miss Kristen back from her big trip to New York. And of course, Thomas and Sue. Happy New Year, everybody. It's exciting to see all of you on here. Okay, so we have Winter Wonderland. Was there something else? Oh, I wanted to tell you we're pulling all of your live sale orders today. Well, I shouldn't say we because I'm in here doing this, but James and Rosa have been working on it diligently. It's the most comments we've ever had on a live sale. So they are a little overwhelmed, and boy, oh boy, did you guys like clear us out. I think they're halfway through, and I looked and there isn't a whole lot of stuff left. So that's exciting to see. I really appreciate you placing your orders, and we will get pictures with your invoices and your basket out to you as soon as we can. We're going to work on it really as quickly as possible, hopefully by Friday, maybe by Monday, and then of course you know how the process sort of plays out from there. We'll end up sending you a PayPal a day or so later, and then once we get that, you guys get your orders. Rosanna says, Happy New Year to you also. How are you feeling? I'm feeling great. So I do have some big news. I'm 14 weeks pregnant today. I am going to be having a baby boy next summer, and some of you have probably seen it online because you know I posted on Instagram and Facebook for those of you that follow my personal pages. So we're super excited. We're adding a third baby to the mix, and Evelyn and Hazel will have a little brother. So we are definitely going to be outnumbered now, but we will do our best to keep it all together. So yeah, that's the big news. And last but not least, if you have a Winter Wonderland kit, which is what I'm opening today, post pictures of what you designed in our VIB group. Every design that you post a picture of is going to be an entry to win our next available kit. And you have until January 22nd to post your pictures. And that's just a lot of fun for us, and I think for all of you to see what everybody else makes with the same group of beads and supplies. It's always lots of fun. So let's unwrap this. Thank you for all the congratulations, guys. We're very, very excited in my family. As you can imagine, a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old are pretty excited about having another baby. Till he gets here. Then they'll be like, what happened? I'm sure. All right, so I'm gonna focus down, and we're gonna open this up and start making. And if you haven't already, go to the website and order your Cupid's Kiss, which is this guy here, and get that going to your home so that you don't miss out on next month's kit. Okay, so here we go. And share and like this video if you want to enter to win a free trio as well. All right. I have to announce last week's winner still. I'll do that after this live show. I haven't announced it yet. Okay, so opening up this kit. All of our kits, we try to put everything you need to make jewelry in it. So it's gonna have findings, it's gonna have wire, it's gonna have crimps, and then it'll have some really amazing goodies in it too. And this kit is no different than the typical kit. It's got a lot of really cool goodies, and then we try to add a few challenge items too that may not be in your comfort zone, that might be a little different. So one of our big challenge items that we received from Jesse James Beads this time is this huge Egyptian cotton tassel, and I've barely gotten a chance to look at these. I think I opened one to photograph, but it's a huge tassel. Look at this. These are so gorgeous, and I'm definitely going to try to use this today because I think you can really make a really special piece with this guy. So one of the things that's kind of a challenge about this is that it actually doesn't have a cord hanging from it. And so I was thinking that's kind of interesting and neat for us to see, like, how are we going to hang this from a necklace? You know, do we put something up the center? Do we attach maybe to the top here? So I'm going to play around with that so that you guys can see how I do it. And then of course I would love to see how you end up attaching your tassels when you make something with it too. Rosanna says, I haven't touched that tassel other than to look at it. Yeah, it's really pretty large. It's a beautiful, like almost blue, like almost like a blue gray color, which I really love, and I think is going to be really, really gorgeous. And we actually have extras of these on sale on our website, which is www.softflexcompany.com. So if you didn't get the challenge kit, but you really want to try one of these really awesome big tassels, that would be a fantastic place to grab one. And they actually appear like it would be more of like a tassel that would be used in maybe home decor or something along those lines. So it's kind of fun and challenging to think of how to take such a big tassel and make it work in a jewelry piece. So I'm going to definitely try to use that today. In this kit, we also have a little findings kit. So let's look inside there and see what we got. So James James didn't have these. We at Soft Flex have these barrette clips. We have a bunch of them. And so he decided to throw one into the mix as another great challenge item, like something that you wouldn't maybe typically use or even buy, but that if you have it, maybe you could make something really interesting and special with it. So this little barrette clip is in there. And then we've got, of course, some of our sterling silver Soft Flex crimp tubes, which are really thick, really strong, seamless tubes, very, very strong crimps. They don't come just in sterling, they come in gold filled, black oxidized, and also copper. But in this kit, you've got 20 sterling silver crimp tubes. And then we've got a bunch of stuff in here. Let's see what we got. We've got a pair of ear wires. We've got some of those rings that we've seen in some of our previous kits, which can also be challenge worthy. They, I think, are sold as ear wires, but you can use them for other things too. I think I've shown how to use them as a wine charm. And you can also, I've seen people just use the ring, bead the ring, and then hang it from an ear wire. So there are some neat options with those. We've got two clasps. We've got a lobster clasp, and then we have one of those spin-on, spin-off clasps. That's not the official name. That's just what I'm coming up with right now. I forget what they're called. So it just spins on and off, and then it has hooks on the two sides. So pretty basic, but everything you need to be able to make quite a few designs with this kit. And that's how the Cupid's Kiss kit will be too. We try to put everything in it, so even a brand new beader can try this with us, and all you're going to need are some basic tools in the kit. We've got some white Soft Flex beading wire. This is our white quartz color, perfect for winter. And we do our kits with 019 because it's the all-purpose diameter beading wire. It's for glass, mineral, and metal beads in the medium is what we call it. And it's really pretty fantastic because it'll fit a pretty small hole in a bead, but it can, like a seed bead, but it can also handle things that are a little bit more abrasive like mineral, metal, or glass. So this is a great diameter. Thank you for sharing. If you like and share this video, you get entered to win a Soft Flex trio of your choice, a Soft Flex color trio of your choice. And I will pick the winner next week. And I still need to pick the winner from last week, but I will be on it after this live show. Okay, so we've got our wire. Now let's look at our beads. We've got one really large, beautiful crystal. This is a Swarovski crystal. And man, this is gonna look beautiful with this tassel. Won't this just go great? I mean, I think I gotta leave that out because those two things make a lot of sense to me. We've got some really pretty, kind of, they look like little petals. The hole runs along the top, so it looks like a little flower petal kind of, in clear and in dark blue. I really love the colors in this kit. So pretty. And it's definitely feeling like winter here in Northern California. And I know I've seen a lot of people are pretty cold there in Phoenix too. So if it's feeling cold here, it must be feeling really cold everywhere else, I imagine. We've got some really pretty saucer-shaped blue beads. So these items are all unique to the kit. They're not online for sale, all the beads that I'm opening right now. But the bead mix and the tassel, we had an overrun of them. And so we have some of these individually on sale on the website. So if you got the kit and you really liked the bead mix, you can always buy another one. Or if you didn't get the kit and you're kind of sad about it now seeing what's in it, you can always kind of remake it with a few things here by going to the website. Okay, so what else do we got here? We've got some little kind of like, they're not complete cylinders, they have sides. What is that, like a 5-sided bead? And then they're kind of a long tube, pretty blue color. I'm gonna just set those off here to the side too. Doesn't James make the most beautiful kits? I mean, I help, you know, in the design concept, but then James puts all of this together, and I think he just does such a marvelous job. He has such a good eye for putting all these beautiful colors together. This is a beautiful light blue. It's like a check glass that's faceted. Really, really pretty. Yeah, those the blue ones I just looked at did look a little bit like a cane. We've got some, these guys, which this is, they kind of look like a pinch bead. They're pinched on 3 sides. It's a really lovely dark blue, which that would look really pretty with this tassel too. Yeah, and those ones are more round, so they're gonna, oh, there's 2 different shapes in there. I didn't even notice. There's also a blue round in there as well. We'll kind of move those into their own. We've got a couple of strands of seed beads. We've got one dark blue strand, and then we've got a really beautiful strand of silver bugles, which will be fun. We need some beads there. And then last but not least, this is all in the kit for $32.95. And like I said, Cupid's Kiss is going to be pretty similar in the types of stuff that are in it. It'll have different challenge items and be different colors, but kind of a similar concept. And here comes the Jesse James Beads Mix that they put together for us for this kit. It is a custom mix, so they made it just for us and our kit, and we are super excited to show it to you today, and we have more of these available on the website. So we've got a beautiful caged bead, which of course Jesse James Beads is pretty well known for, and then they've got a few, see, we've got one more big one here, trying to get all the other beads out of it to match. And then we've got a couple little ones too, caged beads. And look at that. Those are so fun. Have you guys worked with those before? They're so fun. And then we've got some beautiful little snowflake crystals, or little, I'm sorry, little snowflake charms. See, there's two of those. We've got some, a smaller tassel, two smaller tassels that match here, in kind of a similar color almost to the big tassel. And we've got a couple really beautiful dark blue faceted beads, which we can move over here. Some long cylinders. So many good beads, you guys. We got a lot to work with today. And yeah, and then we've got just a bunch of little things here. We've got some really fun little crystal rondelles that are kind of like our square dells, but they're round. Let's pull those out. There's a couple of those. Ooh, these are pretty too. Look at these little crystal-y metal guys. Those are going to add a lot of sparkle. And then a bunch of just like check glass beads. We've got some bead caps included in here. Some little bead caps that could be used to just add a little metal to your bead. We'll pull those out so it's easy to find them when we design. And then I do like these little crystals, or I'm sorry, they're probably check glass, faceted little check glass clear beads. They're really, really pretty. So let's pull those out too, just in case we want those. And then I'm going to dump the rest of this into a Soft Flex spool so we can grab them if we need them. But we've got a ton of beads out. A ton. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our end of the year sale. I saw lots of good orders come through at that 25% off discount, which is fun. Hopefully you got some really good goodies to get started in the new year as we start moving into 2019. All right, so let's make something. So I definitely love, love, love this big crystal with the big tassel. And I'm thinking we're going to take some wires. So maybe I will start there and see how this kind of all comes together. So I'm just going to do a really long necklace because I think this tassel will make the most sense if it's like kind of hanging below my chest line. So I'm going to do a pretty long one. So I'm taking a big piece of the Soft Flex Beading Wire. Let me measure just to give you an idea of how much wire I'm starting with. In case you're brand new to beading, the long necklace, I'm starting with about 32 inches of Soft Flex Beading Wire. And I'm going to start out by trying to figure out what we do exactly with this tassel. I'm thinking I might be able to thread the Soft Flex through here, but I've never tried before. I'm also wondering, oh, I wonder if this is like a good use for a speeder beater. No, it's probably gonna go through there. And then am I gonna feel like that's secure is my next question. The other thing I was wondering is if I came up from the bottom, what that would be like. Sue says to use a jump ring. Yeah, that's interesting too. I would feel worried that it would come off that jump ring though. I think I'm just gonna thread it through. I'm gonna try it. And I am going to grab a crimp and crimp it on right onto my wire. The only thing I'm worried about is just the deterioration of the thread itself. Is it gonna break down over time? But I don't know if I can worry too much about that. Can you go up through the center? Yeah, I wondered about that. I will try that after I get this crimped. It's really tight, the top of it's really tight. So that's why I'm not too sure you could actually go up through the center with the wire. Here, let's just do a quick test. So that's what these design challenges are all about, right? Testing our boundaries. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work either. You could definitely wrap around it and create a better base for how to attach, but you can't go through it really, because this is really tightly woven. So there we've got just like a little link here at the bottom with Soft Flex. I did it right in the center of the wire, and I'm gonna straighten out my wires and inside the crimp tube, and I'll use the magical crimpers to crimp. So if you're new to these pliers, there's a little divot inside the crimping plier where that crimp tube fits just perfectly. I'm going to center the crimp so that it's right in the middle and then compress. And if I've done it correctly the first time, I'll have what looks like a little 4-corner ravioli. And then I will go at it in the opposite direction. There's probably like tons of ways, you guys, that we can attach to the top of this thing. And I can't wait to see in the VIB group what all of you choose to do with your tassel. Because I think you could definitely do like a really neat beaded collar here and then maybe attach up at the top. There's definitely some other options. I also was thinking we have a tool called the speeder beater, which is basically a needle point that fits on the end of the Soft Flex wire. And I'd be really curious. I wonder if I have one for 019. I don't think I do. Let me look just in case. I have one here in my bag. It would be interesting to see if it would go through. And I could also try, just to try it, I have like a harder head pin. I could see what it's like just to put a piece of wire through it if it'll go through it a little bit more easily than the Soft Flex. Not from the bottom. It's still pretty tight from the bottom. So that's good to know. And then let me try it from the side. You might be able to do something like this, like a piece of craft wire through the top. I mean, I did it sort of haphazardly, but you could probably do it this way too. And then that would allow you to create another way to attach to it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so there's probably like 1,000 different ways, but I'm really excited to see what everybody comes up with and how you decide to attach your tassel to your design. I'm going to try it this way and see how it is here. Okay, so we've got our wire. I'm going to go ahead and try my crystal on right away. I think both of these wires will fit through it. And we'll just string that on immediately. And then we can kind of decide where we're going from there. I could do like a couple more beads, which might be kind of nice up the center here. Let's see, we've got this beautiful dark blue bead. Could do one of those if I can get both wires through it, and I can. We could do like a dark blue bead. I could even do, these would be fun on either side of that dark blue bead if the wire will go through. Sue says 22 gauge wire around the head and make a loop. Totally avoid breakdown in the thin thread on top. So true. So true. Here we go. We'll add a little bit of spice to it by adding these little bead ends that came in the kit. Go. I think that's pretty nice. And do I want to do another bead up at the top, or do I want to? I could also do one of these on either side. That would be kind of fun. Let's try that. Since this is kind of the color of the tassel, I think it'll be nice to bring that color up. Again, if I can get both wires through. Yeah, I can. We'll do one on either side of this dark blue, and I think that'll be really pretty. So this is how I design. If you've never watched my shows before, I don't come to the table with a plan, and I just kind of roll with it. I see what items I'm, getting the most, I'm feeling the most interested about, and then I just kind of start playing around to see what I like and how I like it together. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start to bead up the sides. So this will be the bottom of a very long necklace, and then I can sort of bead up the two sides a little bit, and then I'll just have wire running up the back to make it pretty quick and easy. So I'm thinking I need like a bead to split here that's going to sit kind of nicely next to each other. So I'm wondering, I could either do like this direction, like something like that. I'm not really liking the clear with this silver color very much though. Or I could try this pinch sort of bead. Let's see how that'll sit. Sometimes if you try to put beads right next to each other, they just don't cooperate. Let's see how these sit next to each other. Since they have flat sides. Yeah, I'm not loving that. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I'll take a bugle bead off instead. Let's try a bugle bead. Let me find my cutters to cut these open. Because they're very slim, I imagine that they'd be able to sit next to each other. Yeah, a few little seed beads would be good too, for sure. I don't know that I like this seed bead color with this dark blue bead though. I feel like those two, it's probably hard to tell on camera, but I feel like those two blues don't really meld together very well. So I'm going to try a little bugle bead on each wire, and that bugle bead sort of plays into this kind of silvery colored crystal here, which I think is a good thing. And once I get more beads on, I'll be able to crimp it at the top and kind of push those two beads down closer to side by side down here, which I'll like better. Okay, so we've got that. I think we're probably going to want to replay this kind of color pattern. So I'm going to do a light blue, a dark blue, and a light blue and see how I'm feeling about it. I have some more of these little bead frames too. I could do those up here. Let's see how they look on this little round bead. So it was fun to see what a lot of you were doing on New Year's Eve in the VIB group. I think it was Rosanna who posted that she was not a party animal. And I was putting kids to bed, so I'm definitely not a party animal at all. But hopefully you had a really nice New Year's Eve, whatever it is that you were doing or whoever you were with and celebrating with. I want to see, are these too big for this little round bead? It's hard to tell till you kind of hold it up, I think. Sue says she was asleep by 9:30. You're definitely not a party animal, Sue. Okay, so this is what we're looking at so far. I'm liking it. I think it's so sweet. It's great. So I think the only other thing, ooh, these would be really fun between this too. Let's try it on one side just to see what it looks like. Because we have 4 of them, so it would be easy to, let's see, slide this in as the metal component between the beads. Let's see how that looks. What do you guys think? Do you like the bead caps or do you like the crystal rondelle on this guy? I'm kind of torn. I kind of like the bead caps for sure. The crystal rondelle is interesting though, and it fits a little bit better with the bead shapes. But I do kind of like that. I like the mimicking of what's happening down below. See, crystal bead caps. I like that better. Crystal rondelles, bead caps. Oh, everybody's sort of torn. Rondelle. It's like every other crystal. Okay, so maybe a few more with the crystals. Okay. These are fun. So let's slide this off. Crystal. And we'll slide this back on. And I could even add this at the top if I wanted to. Add another kind of crystal element. Let's see what that looks like on both sides. There we go. And then that would probably be more than enough beads to offset this beautiful tassel, but really the tassel is the highlight here. You don't really need to do, I think I missed the hole on this one. Let me go back. There we go. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna crimp it here on the ends. So let's do that real fast. I'm gonna use those same crimps that came in the kit, the 2x2 millimeter Soft Flex crimp tubes. And I'm just gonna slide it onto the wire, down to the crimp. And of course, a lot of the beads in the bead mix here came from that Jesse James design element bead mix, which you can find on our website. We have a limited supply of those though, I should say, because we just got a little bit of an overrun when we order those for our kits. So we're making them available. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting a little extra piece of wire, and because I'm going to crimp on a single strand, I'm going to put this extra wire in here just to make sure that I have enough wire for my crimping plier to really be able to kind of chew down on that nylon coating. So I'm going to take my magical crimpers and I'm going to butt up against that last bead. I'm going to go ahead and crimp. Yeah, the bead caps did seem a little big, Rosanna, but they also, I kind of liked that look. But I could go either way. I mean, I like it this way too. It's really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to slide in my cutter as close to that crimp as I can get and just snip. And then I'm going to slide in the other direction and snip that extra wire off. And no one will ever know it was even there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take a 2 by 2 millimeter crimp tube. This is long enough that I don't have to use a clasp. I imagine I probably won't use a clasp on it. Let me get this one crimped. We'll talk about that a little bit more. So again, I'm going to snug down to that last bead and I'm going to go ahead and crimp. Let's see, why did the crimpers not always make a ravioli? I often only get 2 points. That means that it's not centered. If your crimp is centered, then you should get a ravioli. If you're only getting 2 points on one side, that means that you're hitting only one edge of the crimping plier. And so you should be getting, if it's centered, you should be getting the 4 corners. You get 4 corners sometimes, Sue, or just not all the time? There we go. So now we've got everything all attached. And on the back end, let me see, I'm going to test out length here, and I'm just going to twirl you down real fast. We'll test out our length. I think I want to do this pretty long so that it makes sense for it to be such a big tassel. So I'm looking at somewhere back here in length. We'll flip back down. Let's see, Sue says, not all the time. I try to center, but never quite get it right. Well, if you do get the 4 corners some of the time, then it's not your plier. It's definitely your process. So you're not getting it quite centered. If you were always getting 2 corners, then I would question if maybe you had a pair of pliers that just wasn't working correctly. We mostly don't see that problem anymore. We used to see it more frequently, but now we buy the brand that's manufactured by Beadsmith. And we do that partially because they test every single plier to make sure that it's working properly. And you can even see their test result in the package. And I think that's such a nice thing because sometimes if the manufacturing is just a little off, it can make it really difficult to use. But if you're getting 4 corners sometimes, then it might be you. The one pair of pliers is 1/2 always. My other pair is a bit better. Yeah, it might just be one of them's just like a little tighter, and so it's easier to get the 4 corners. It's definitely, it's not perfect, you know. Even though they make all the components to be as similar as possible, there are times where that little divot will be just off just a little bit. So maybe you have a pair, is it the yellow handled ones that are maybe you're having a harder time with? Those are the ones manufactured by Eurotool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and crimp on the back end. I'm just gonna probably just string a series of similar beads. So I'll just do this blue and this round. Oh, and I needed a crimp. Let's put the crimp on first. We're gonna do a crimp, 2 by 2 crimp, a blue, a round, and this is just decorative on the back, not necessary. I just figured since I have the two ends, and I don't really want to use a clasp because it's kind of silly to use a clasp when it's so long and it can go right over my head. Sue says, I want perfect. Yes. Yeah, the yellow ones we did have more issues with. We had more returns on the yellow ones. And then we ended up switching to Beadsmith. Was it going to go through this blue one twice? Nope, of course not. Rethink. So maybe we'll just do one bead here at the top. And one of these big beads. Yeah, so we switched over to Beadsmith, and a big reason why I advocated for that switch was I like that they check out every pair, because there can be just little discrepancies in them, and it is important that if you're going to buy a pair of them, that they work really well, as well as possible. Okay, so I'm going to pull to a degree. You can see I've done a crimp on each side. I've passed the wires back through both sides, and this is actually going to be the back of my necklace. So I'm going to kind of crimp this in place, and I'm going to do a double check that this is centered. Not crimp it in place, bead stopper it in place. So these are bead stoppers. They're a real lifesaver. I saw a ton of you order these on the 25% off, with the 25% off coupon. Throw them in with your order, which is so smart. They just clip on the wire, and then it allows you to test things without worrying about losing all of your beads, which can be so annoying. So to test, I'm just going to run my fingers straight back and see where I'm at. And I can see one side is just like a little bit longer than the other side. So I know I need to pull this wire out ever so slightly. And then I'll get closer to, there we go. And then I'm gonna bead stopper one end again so I can crimp on the other end. Handy, right? I know, they are a great idea. Are you talking about the bead stoppers, or are you talking about the back end of my necklace? I don't know which is a great idea. Rosanna said she just got some new ones. My older, cheaper ones were getting a little worn out. Yeah. And these are nice because they have color tips on them, so they're really easy to see on your desktop. If you get like a nice bright color like the red, they can be really fun and easy to pick out, even amongst a bunch of beads. So I'm crimping the same way I have earlier in the video. I'm just going to go around and around, tightening it down. And then I will clip right off at the crimp tube. And I'm going to do the same thing now on the other side. The beads at the back are the great idea. Thank you. Because that idea is my idea. so thank you. Yeah. I think it's nice. I mean, you don't need a clasp in this case, but it is nice to have like a little flare back there instead of just crimping both ends of the wire together. Just like a little something back there hiding out. And I'm just making sure I go around the crimps really well, especially at a closure. You want to make sure you've got a lot of good strength in your connection, and then I can go ahead and clip off. And there's the end of my necklace. So I will take a picture of this in all its glory for you guys and post it in the VIB group and also on our Instagram page. And I'm gonna make maybe a pair of earrings or something here to go with it as well. But I'm super excited to try on this beautiful Egyptian tassel and see what it's like. So let me set that aside and let's make a sweet little pair of earrings. I love these guys, are so cute. Of course, the tassels are easy to make a pair of earrings from, and these actually, if I remember correctly, these are jump rings that open up. Let me see if I can find where the opening is. Oh, maybe it's not. I feel like I've opened them up before. There it is. It's kind of hidden under the thread, but these actually do open up. So you can actually just open this jump ring and easily attach it to this cool caged bead. I need another pair of, let me get my chain nose pliers so that I can close this baby back up again. Oops. Getting my pliers stuck together there. Okay, so I closed that up, and then you can always slide that underneath inside the tassel again too, so it doesn't come off really easily. Earrings are a little easier than like a bracelet or a necklace. But there, now we've got that attached, and you can really easily just attach this to an ear wire if you wanted to. If you didn't want to add any other beads to it, you could just attach your ear wire up here, and you've got a beautiful little design. If you want to add a bead, we can do a connector with Soft Flex. Maybe something like this would be nice. And then of course we've got our beautiful white Soft Flex wire. So we're gonna trim a generous piece just because I'm on camera and it's easier if I don't totally mess it up. I have plenty of wire. So that's the worst. Worst when you're doing something and you just don't have enough wire. So it looks like I'm attaching up here. I think I'm going to attach right here between these two, and that'll have the dangle hang really nicely. I've got my crimp tube on. I'm going to string through the crimp tube again. And then I will just straighten out my wires inside the crimp tube to the best of my ability. And of course use my crimping pliers. Attach that crimp to the wire. These are going to match this necklace so nicely. And then a bead onto the wire. And I think those colors look good together. And then I am going to, I did it a little too tight. I would like this to be just a little looser for anybody that's doing the same thing as me. I would make this loop just a tiny bit looser. I can do that after, just so it hangs. It doesn't have a lot of weight on the bottom. So if it's a looser loop, it'll just hang just a little bit more nicely. Okay, so I'm going to string my second crimp on top, and that's going to be what connects this wire to the ear wire. And I want to do my loops so that they look pretty similar on both sides. Let me straighten this out just a little bit. And sometimes I can slide it just a little better if I hold on to it with the magical crimper. There we go. Now I've got the loop the way I want it, and I can go ahead and compress. Awesome. And I am just going to attach this to an ear wire. Like I said, the only thing I would change is just a little bit more on that loop on the bottom. So it just dangles really freely. anytime something's kind of stiff, it just doesn't really work when it comes to wearable jewelry. All right, and I'm gonna close this up, and then I've got a really sweet, cute little earring with the caged bead and the tassel. And all of these items came from the Winter Wonderland Bead Mix. So if you don't have the kit and you want to make this earring, you can very easily do it with the new bead mix. Yeah, so tons and tons of beads and things left. Haven't even explored this awesome barrette or these cool little circles that you can make earrings with. There's more of these caged beads, the little ones. You could do it with a little one if you don't like the size of this if you wanted to. And then there's just tons and tons of beads left over. And I've got these cute little snowflakes too. That would be fun with white wire and the clear crystal. And anytime you're using like a clear crystal, it's really nice to use the white wire because it just adds a lot of sparkle. It's like the facets on the clear bead just sort of pick up that white color underneath it, and it looks really, really pretty. So white's kind of a standard in my bead box for sure. So that's it for me today. Let me flip over and chit chat with you. If you want to join us next month, it's not next month actually, it's January 30th. So, but it is several weeks from now. You need to buy the Cupid's Kiss design kit. It's on sale on our website, which is www.softflexcompany.com. You can also find the Winter Wonderland bead mix. We've got a new Winter Wonderland trio, which is gorgeous. I should have grabbed those colors, but I forgot to do that. And also the big Egyptian cotton tassel. If you want to try that out and see what you would make with it or how you would attach to it, you can buy one of these as well. So everything's available on the website. 4 new products today. Can you believe that? We're back from vacation. We're pulling live sales. We've got 4 new products and we're starting a new sale tomorrow. So we are fired up and ready for 2019. I hope all of you guys feel that way too. And obviously 2019 is going to be a really amazing year for my family, and I hope that's the case for each and every one of you as well. And I can't wait to see what you make in the VIB group. Do post by, where'd my sheet go? January 22nd is the deadline, and every design that you post is an entry to win our next available kit. And we will post a winner on January 23rd. And if you enjoyed this video, like and share it, and that will enter you to win a trio of your choice. So that's all for me. Thanks, guys, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thomas says busy, 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 and we're planning for Tucson. So as you can imagine, it's just like a madhouse around here. So anyway, I will talk to all of you guys next Wednesday. I will be on again January 9th at 1 p.m. and I'll see all of you then. Bye, guys.